Hey, my name is Katie Pijanowski, and I'm a certified life coach and motivational speaker, and I'm here to help you unlock your true strength so you can create the life of your dreams. I teach you my best tips to master your mindset, create confidence, and empower yourself to take back your life. It's your time. This is the Mind and Body Strong podcast. And we're back, friends. I hope you are doing fantastic, no matter when you're listening to this, no matter where you are at in the world. I am just so thankful for this audience that we've built here on the Mind and Body Strong podcast. And I thank all of you for leaving such positive reviews on iTunes and Spotify and all of that. I just appreciate it so much. And from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank all of you who have taken the time to do that. And if you are listening to the podcast and haven't yet left a review, I would love to start reading those on here. So make sure that if you have been listening, drop a review and make sure to rate it. And this really does help not only for me to know what you guys are really loving, but to help this podcast reach even more people and help spread this message of mind and body health and really just coming into your inner wisdom and trusting yourself. That's really, I think, a lot of what I teach with Mind and Body Strong. And really, there's like this underlying, I was talking to someone else the other day, and I was explaining my business and how Mind and Body Strong is something we can like intellectually understand, but what I really bring into my coaching and courses is this spirituality underneath of really being able to finally unlatch yourself from all the external things in your life and start to really come into your inside and really have that start to be the direction of where you're going in your life, which can be such a powerful and empowering experience. And I know it was for me, and it has been for many of my clients when they really learn how to just tune into themselves and find out what's healthy for them. It is just the coolest process and really helps to eliminate all that judgment and really start to work through some of those old stories that we hang around. So I just wanted to start by thanking all of you because this journey is so much fun, and I absolutely love showing up and doing this podcast for you. So today's topic is that beauty is just defined in so many different ways, and that beauty is a decision, right? That's what this episode is called. And I want to start by telling you a story. And this story is about me. About 6 years ago, I would say, maybe 7 years now. And I went on a study abroad trip to France right after my freshman year of college. And I was actually really into photography for a time. That was actually my very first business I ever started when I was 16 years old. I had my first camera, my first DSLR. I bought it myself, paid $1,000 cash, and I was so excited. And I would take pictures at all the horse shows. And I got really, really into the whole photography thing. And I carried that a little bit into my college career, where in France, I took a photography course. Amazing place to take a photography course, right? So I spent a lot of time taking pictures of the architecture and the food and the people there in France. And it was so amazing. But the piece of the story that I really want to highlight is that when I look back at my 1 month journey in France, I have but maybe a handful, maybe 5 or 10 pictures of me. And I can tell you exactly why that is. I was so afraid of being in front of the camera. Anytime I saw a picture of myself, I immediately felt disappointed. I immediately felt upset. I immediately started going to all of these thoughts about how I needed to lose weight and why can't I look a certain way. And I was even afraid to ask people to take my picture so that I can have memories of the setting that I was in and the joy I was experiencing in this new culture, in this new country. And my heart breaks a little bit for myself looking back at those moments, because growing up, I had such awful body image issues. I could not look at myself without picking out all of the flaws, picking at my face, and just criticizing the living heck out of myself. That was what I was so used to. And it breaks my heart to look back on such a incredible experience, and the only time I've been to Europe so far, to not even really see me engulfed in the culture, or me with my friends. Like, I wouldn't even put myself in those situations because I had so much anxiety around looking at those pictures and feeling disappointed. And today, now that I've done so much work, and I'm telling you, it's still a process every single day that I go through. There are still days where I struggle and I have bad body image days. But I can tell you that about a year ago, when I was really starting to recover with intuitive eating, and I was working on my body image and really kind of accepting where I was at and allowing for all of that. And I kind of made this decision that no matter what picture I saw of myself, I would remember how I was feeling in that moment, which was most likely feeling really good, or I was remember something positive about that experience. Like, I was with my best friend. We went to the Perot Museum and it was so much fun. And instead of pointing out all of the things that I would normally point out, which is, oh my gosh, my arms look so big at that angle. Like, why didn't I turn my hips so I don't look so wide? And those are the things that I used to say to myself. But about a year ago, like I mentioned, I made this decision that no matter what kind of picture I saw of myself, I would see the beauty in it. And that was the decision that I decided to make, because there was no positive thing coming from just beating the heck out of myself. It was just reliving this old, tired story that I had to live up to some unsaid standard of beauty, when I could just spend all of that energy and time recognizing the beauty I already had. And through this healing process, I did a lot of looking back at old pictures, especially like during that time in France and when in college, and before that, especially high school, when I was really, really self-conscious in middle school. And I look back and I just feel this overwhelming compassion and love towards that little girl who just didn't know any better, who was doing the best she could with what she had, who was so sensitive and didn't know how to express herself. She really internalized the world around her, and she really felt that she had to be anyone but herself. And I look back and I just want to hug that little girl that was me, that little girl that still lives inside of me. And I really, truly think that she would look at me today and she would be so proud of the progress that I've made. And this body image journey is something that it's every day, like I mentioned. And when we look at those pictures of ourselves, this is a really great opportunity for us to really work through some of those thoughts that are going on in your head. One of the things I'll encourage you to do, if this is something you're struggling with, is find a picture of yourself that maybe it's just hard for you to look at, or just whatever picture you find first. And the first thoughts that come up, take out a piece of paper and just start writing all of them down. One thought on each line, whatever comes to mind about that picture, judgment or not, just keep writing them down. And really just take a look at those. Why I think writing down your thoughts is such a powerful experience, and why I'm such a huge advocate for journaling, is that it allows you to separate yourself from your thoughts. Because like I've mentioned in previous episodes, you are not your thoughts. You are you, and your thoughts are just these little sentences that float across your mind, and we decide to give them attention or not. And if you get really good at noticing this, you'll notice that even when those negative thoughts come up, which they still do, you can see them and not give them attention and watch them drift away. And so when it comes to body image and really deciding that you are beautiful in every aspect, I really want you to get honest about where you're at now. Because it's not about just pumping yourself with positivity and just saying, I'm beautiful all the time, when you don't really feel that way right now. And that's okay. I didn't feel that way either. But the way I got through it was being honest about where I was at and writing those thoughts down and taking a look at them and being like, wow, is that really what's going on in my head? No wonder I feel like crud. No wonder I feel disappointed. No wonder I feel depressed. Those thoughts are not serving me. And I decided along the way to change the story and to start on this process of healing. And for me, that meant latching on to thoughts that I could actually believe in that moment, even when I was still struggling with accepting where my body was at. And for me, the first sentence, the first thought that really helped me was just, thank you, body, for all that you do. And this was a thought given to me by one of my intuitive eating counselors who really helped me with this. And I would put my hands on my belly, which was the area that I was most going to criticize. And I would just breathe in and allow my stomach to fill my hands and just thank my body for all that it does, and to remember all the experiences that it's allowed me to have, to remember all the strength that I have, to remember all of the loved ones that it's allowed me to hug, to remember all of the adventures I've been able to go on and climb 14ers in Colorado and to ride horses and to do gymnastics. I am so thankful. And beyond all of that, the things that our body does every single day for us, like helping us breathe and digesting our food to give us energy and fighting away infection. I mean, you guys, our bodies truly do so much. It's so incredible. And for me, this process of healing my body image and really deciding that no matter what, I find the beauty in myself in those moments. Even when I look at a picture and I'm like, not really the best picture of me, I still remember the feelings. I remember how amazing I felt, and I don't care what that picture looks like. I will not let that take the joy away from me. And I encourage you to do the same. This journey is so much more about, for me, like looking into the future. I don't want my future daughters or sons even to learn that negative body image stuff from me. I want to be able to feel so good in my skin and be working on that all of the time so that when they're growing up and they're going through those things that they're most likely going to go through, as all of us do, I can help them see that beauty. And I can help them build those stories from a very young age because I am acting on those. And they'll be able to see how I look at myself and I smile, and how I pick out the beauty in myself and in others. And I want that more than anything. I have wanted to be a mother from the time I was 4 years old. And I feel like this journey of continuously evolving and growing myself has always been for that. Like, I want to be able to have that experience of being like a mother one day. And that is something that's so important to me. So like looking in the future, that's something that like is kind of like a bigger why of why I do all of this, because I want to be the best role model that I can be. And right now, like it's more so just, it's for me. Like I want to feel great so that I can exude the energy and experience and positivity to other people, and to also be honest about all of the really hard crap I've had to go through and how I've been able to acknowledge and appreciate those things and forgive myself for all of those. So I want you to really take some time to really write down all these thoughts that you might be having, and to even write down all of these things, these personality traits and other things that help make you beautiful that are outside your external body. There is so much beauty on the inside of us that we so often just push to the side. When I meet people, like, I want you to think about this. Someone told me this once and it made so much sense. So when you first meet people, so you walk into a room and you see all these new people, immediately our minds start to kind of judge and start to put people in categories, right? We start to just categorize things. Our brains are really good at putting things with labels because it helps us feel safe. But when you walk up to somebody, you look them in the eye and you extend your hand out to them and say, "Hi, my name is Katie," and they extend and do the same, it's like all of a sudden you forget all of that judgment and you've just opened up this connection with a new human being. And actually, I do remember who said this. There was a speaker at my corporate jobs business conference, like their sales rally. And this man came and spoke, and he was born without any arms and legs, and he climbed a mountain. And so he was kind of talking about this experience of, it's easy to judge someone from the outside, but when you walk up to them and you look them in the whites of the eyes and you extend your hand, you don't really think about the differences in that moment. You just acknowledge that person and you kind of like feel that energy come from them. And all of a sudden it's just like, whoa, why did I have all those judgments? Like, I didn't even know this person. And so like today in my life, like I really seek that like energy. Like I'm very good at feeling other people's energies, and I can pretty much tell like who a person is by like their energy they're carrying with them, because I'm very empathic and very intuitive, and I can feel that. And so for myself, I'm really working to kind of shift my own energy, and especially towards myself, because the energy that you feel towards yourself, those feelings that you feel towards yourself, can really start to be displaced into other areas of our life. And we start to maybe even buffer out some of those feelings. So I want us to get really honest about like just where we're at and accepting all the beauty around us in ourselves and in others, and to really just allow ourselves to be in that. So I hope that that gave you a little bit of insight, and to really start to uncover what's beautiful to you and what's beautiful inside you, on the outside of you, to really commit to finding beauty in yourself every single day, and finding beauty in the world, and finding beauty in other people, and expressing that and really feeling it, because it's such a beautiful thing when we can really come to that place. So thank you so much again for listening. I appreciate you all so much, and I hope you have a fantastic day, no matter where you're at or where you're listening into. Talk to you next week. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Mind and Body Strong podcast. You are what makes this movement and message possible. If you loved this episode, share it with a friend, a coworker, a family member, or take a screenshot and share it on your favorite social media platform and tag Mind and Body Strong. To learn more about coaching and courses to help you take your journey to the next level, visit mindandbodystrong.com.